Yo, what's up, fight fans? Welcome back, more Dissension, the MMA show for diehard fans, and not for those who think that Dana White is a woman. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Fight Freek Poli. We have a co-host, like I promised you. Here he is. You're the Naga champion?
Yeah.
Did some panhandling?
Yeah, Pan Ams. I'm Josh Leduc. I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu, so I like to think I know what I'm doing. I'm the Naga West Palm Beach champ, state champ for the state of Florida, and I just came in second at the Naga Pan Am, so nice to be here, guys.
Like I said, panhandling, all that fun stuff. Well, we got someone who knows what he's talking about, so I respect his opinion. I brought him on. He's going to be a permanent one, like we said. So before we get into the predictions, well, tell me a little about what the news we wanted to go about.
Yeah, this week's been crazy. We just got a fight announcement, Struve versus Hunt, and that was supposed to happen in a previous card, I think, of FX5. I'm not sure.
That sounds about right. It was.
Yeah.
I know it was a while back, but then they had that whole crazy thing where they were like, "Oh, Mark Hunt gets a championship
Yeah,
fight,"
yeah.
and they were pulling for him, the whole petition.
That would have been an interesting fight, JDS versus Mark Hunt, because Mark Hunt is a K1 kickboxing champ from 2001, and I'd like to see Mark Hunt versus Alistair Overeem, because they had a fight back in Pride, and he's kind of gunning for a rematch.
They got some bad blood, it looks
yeah,
like.
exactly. He thinks he's a lab made, kind of like JDS, all the steroids and all that. So
Exactly.
yeah.
I know it's not predictions for that one, but just kind of a pre. I mean, we're going to do it again. We're definitely going to cover this again. But just automatically, I'm thinking Hunt.
I want to say Hunt, but it all depends if Struve pulls guard. If Struve has a nasty guard, he's only, I want to say purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but I mean, you see what he did to LeVar Johnson. He tapped him out.
Two words,
minutes.
LeVar Johnson.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that fight.
Scary guy, but Mark Hunt's he's been around for a while. He's been around since Pride. He fought Nogueira. He was doing well until he got caught in I want to say it was Kimura, but right now I'm going to say Mark Hunt by knockout.
He was also doing good against Fedor.
Fedor, yeah.
And then until Fedor did the same thing, what he got, he turned around and got
Kimura,
Kimura.
yeah.
Or did he?
America.
Yeah, well, I can't remember which. I know they were battling for one.
Yeah.
You're right. It was Hunt who was going for the Kimura, and then Fedor reversed it.
Yep. Yeah. Which was surprising to me because he's a kickboxer. I never thought he would have any submission skills. But
Just goes to show.
training.
What show? We had some good matches. Well, Diaz and
Diaz,
GSP.
That's
I think that's crap. If you follow me on Twitter, I mean, I've been saying how that's ridiculous. Yes, GSP Diaz is going to be an awesome fight. The fans want to see it, but in my eyes, it's kind of like you overlook the clear #1 contender to make a few bucks on the pay-per-views.
Yeah, but I mean, they've done that before. So, I mean, kind of like Brock Lesnar, they brought him over from the WWE. He was a big pay-per-view buy. And,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he was a great athlete. I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan, but a lot of people say he's a WWE superstar. I had no place in here. But personally, I think either way, the GSP's going to win.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
it's almost like whatever.
Eventually, Hendricks is going to get a shot. It's going to be interesting because he's got that power in the left hand, but he's not going to be able to touch a champ.
Well, here's my only thing is because if they were to say, wait, you got it, but they're making a fight.
Yeah, he's fighting Ellenberger, which that's dangerous.
Could go either way.
Yeah, exactly. He fought a really close fight with Cameron. He had him on his heels before Cameron came back and knocked him out. But we all saw what Johnny Hendricks did to Cameron.
Yeah, and they've been saying that was one of the worst stoppages. They didn't even give him a second to recover.
Exactly.
And again, Mazzagatti strikes again, they say.
Mazzagatti, worst referee. I mean, you watch the Lesnar fight, he's caught in the knee bar. They sit there, he's tapping. Then he looks straight at Mazzagatti, he's tapping even more.
We could probably spend the entire episode just talking about all the crap that
Mazzagatti
he's
is,
done and all the other referees.
We'll do
and
one of
stuff.
those. We'll rank the referees sometimes.
Actually, that'd be a hell of an episode right there. But what was that one of the matchup we were talking about, saying that would be what was the one that was just announced? Slipping my mind right now.
Are you talking about Varner versus Gallard getting moved, or are you talking?
You know what? That was one we were going to touch on. Absolutely. The whole well, they said he was actually scared. That's why he got sick.
That's what Melvin Gallard's saying. Because
pretty much. You know how he likes to run his mouth.
Exactly, but I mean that's why everybody likes Melvin Gallard. He's kind of, especially now that he's with the Blackzilians, him and Rashad Evans, they're pretty much the same person. So.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's like a 155 version of Rashad Evans. So
with a little less takedown defense, but
yeah, I'll definitely say that all day.
But yeah, I mean Varner said even before the fight, he was telling the commission that Gallard was greasing or something. And that pissed Gallard off. So he's ready.
Well, you do it once, it's going to haunt you the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, you look at GSP. I mean, nobody says he's been greasing, even though he was in that pen fight, I think.
Yeah, it was just that one time where they had that video, and they're like, man, we wiped it off. He might have had some residue.
Silva did the exact same thing too against Stephen Bonner.
Which is why I'm not a huge. I respect the guy all day long, but I'm sorry. After some of the things he's done, you
David might have
you're
fight.
always going to question his level of respect and honor,
Yeah.
regardless of how many times he'll bow at your feet.
Exactly. Like Joe Sonnen said, you bow in Brazil, they'll knock you over the head and take a wallet.
He's probably my favorite trash talker in the world.
Yeah, Chael Sonnen against Jones. It's going to be interesting.
Now that we're on the topic of Varner and Gillard fighting, I mean, you want to just hit that one real quick?
Let's go for it.
Because this is actually one we disagree on. And hey, this like the title of the show is Dissension, so we have to disagree on something. We can't just be like, oh, I see your point. All right, we agree on all 12, 10, however many fights. I mean, that's just boring. So here's where I got Varner, and
Yeah, I got to go hard all day.
but we are in agreement about one thing. Either A, the difference is going to be takedown defense versus wrestling. I have Varner just out wrestling in 3 rounds if he can't submit him sooner. And obviously we know why you got
Yeah,
Gillard.
exactly. Gillard, I love Gillard. He's got great hands, but he's been training with the Blackzilians, and they have some great wrestling. And you're going to see his kickboxing and his Muay Thai is going to be so much better because you got Alistair over there. I mean, he's a K1 champ. I mean, sure, he's a roid monkey, but he's still got some technique.
a lot of rumors coming out.
Yeah,
This
Tyrone
one.
Spone too.
You can clearly see who what fighters we favor or not. You know?
Yeah, I like Alistair as a person, but he is laughing every day. I mean, you see him in Pride fighting light heavyweight, and then he puts on like 60 pounds of muscle. And he says it's horse meat.
And I won't defend the guy. I'm just going to say, hey, I don't know, and then I'll form my opinions. I'll probably change my opinions back and forth. I called him out before. I have. You watch my other stupid videos before. We got a better one with another co-host who knows what the hell they're talking about. Let's get to the main card.
All right, let's do it.
First one, we got Chris Lieben. He was supposed to fight Carlos Mamola. Was kind of on the fence about that fight. This one's a little easier. We got Derek Brunson coming in.
Yeah, coming in from Strikeforce. I mean, you got to respect him. He comes up on 2 weeks' notice. Yeah, it's
Mad respect. Even if he gets knocked out in the first round, you always got to have respect for the guys who do that.
yeah. My one problem with him is his last fight. He got knocked out by Ronaldo Sousa, who is a jiu-jitsu world champ. And I mean, they've been calling him the next Anderson Silva for a while because he was over in Strikeforce. He was the reigning champ for a while before he lost to Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
But I see Lieben knocking him out. First round.
I gotta agree with that because you think he's gonna want to be he's pissed off at the last loss to
Mark Munoz.
and he didn't really. It wasn't the fact that he lost.
Yeah,
I mean, if they stopped the fight, his eye was swelling.
Exactly.
Who knows what could have happened in the third, fourth round?
it was a 5-round fight. It was the first 5-round fight ever.
You give the
And
more
that was a
time you
tough
give
fight.
Lieben to knock somebody out, the better chance
He's a
gonna
zombie.
do
You
it.
saw that. It wasn't Yushin Okami. It was Akiyama. He came, and that was a war. And then you saw he actually had some submissions.
Terry Martin was another perfect
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
Possibly losing that fight, he comes back with that one punch.
Exactly. You can never count Chris Lieben out, and that's why I have him winning
Yeah.
first or third round knockout.
I gotta agree. Whether it's first, second, third, with him second left, I see him getting the knockout.
I agree.
And actually, even if he doesn't, I still think that he's going to do enough aggression with his big punches.
Then he's gonna win.
I think he's going to win a decision, even if he can't knock him out. But knockouts all around. That's what we got.
Plus, I mean, you got to love Chris Lieben. He's had a drug problem, and he's coming back. You saw him at the house. He cried because was it Koscheck who was making fun of him?
Yeah, I know at one point the guy took a leak out when he was sleeping.
Yeah,
or
that
something like
was
that.
a little crazy, but
It's Cos. I mean, it's Cos.
I have a soft spot for Chris Lieben, so I hope he comes out strong and wins this fight.
I think he will too.
Because he's always on the cusp of contendership, up to like 12 to 15.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's always one fight against the big opponent and getting his name right back in there.
Exactly.
I mean, I guarantee you, if you put him against Vitor, he'd make it a fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
we saw
missed
him
it.
to Vanderlei Silva. I mean,
Exactly.
But then again, Vanderlei's chin is a little supple.
And I actually had Vanderlei. My heart was going out to him
Yeah.
after his loss to
Yeah.
Lee, and I was like, come on.
I love Vanderlei. I don't like the fight. He's fighting Stan now. I feel like that is just setting him with the Wolves because Stan has so much one-punch knockout power.
I gotta correct myself there. I actually switched the fights that actually happened first, so let me scratch that, and I'll be like, oh, he doesn't even know what order the fights were in. I don't know why I said Lee, but you know which one I'm talking about. What was the next fight? We have, no, it wasn't Belcher. No, Belcher.
Was it Jim Miller? Those are
No, that's the co-main event.
Oh,
Alan Belcher. Well, this is another good one. Here's another one where we disagree. We have Yushin Okami and Alan Belcher, where I'll go on the record and say this was the hardest fight for me to pick. Absolutely the hardest fight for me to pick because you have great wrestling against great striking, but Belcher's been improving on his ground game. You saw what he did to Paul Harris, and he was able to defend all the submissions. But Okami's also doing great in striking.
I mean, he's fighting out of Team Quest with Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson, Randy Couture pops in there every once in a while. I mean, that is great game. But he's also got a black belt in judo, so you got to always watch out for those throws.
Exactly. And,
So,
and if this is the one where if I get one fight wrong, I will say that this is the one where I could say, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm so on the fence about this. I could say Okami all day long. But I think because Belcher is also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's, Marcelo Garcia, or anything like
No, it's
that.
Marcelo Garcia.
That's true. But I mean, he's one of those black belts where you're like, okay, he could do something or he could just do enough to defend.
Yeah.
And,
Which we saw from Paul Harris. I mean, he has enough submission defense to, but
Yeah.
then again, Paul Harris is a one-trick pony. Anything from the waist down, he was drilling that all camp.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much, and then he was able to escape. But Belcher's a big guy too. Everyone says Okami's size.
Yeah, but Okami's nasty.
He is. He still will have the size advantage,
Yeah.
but I think
Bill
I don't
Belcher's
think.
tall.
Can you think of one opponent that is actually as big as Belcher? Like Silva was taller.
Yeah, but then again with Silva, he's got strength, but it's in the technique that makes him so strong. I mean, you see him going up and down from light heavyweight to middleweight. He's
Yeah.
a big guy, but Okami, I'm guessing he walks around about 225.
Oh yeah, all day,
He's huge.
all day. But when you I gotta think when you look at the fights where he really dominated people, and this is actually a rematch.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
forget they fought at what UFC 160 or 69. Was it?
It was a while back.
It was like 69 or 60. It was an older one. And it was two rounds to one. Belcher won that last round.
Yeah, I think it was nice.
Well, it was like one set 3, but one set 2. And this was early in his career when he was getting choked out by Kendall Grove.
Well, Kendall Grove, he was on hype train for a while, but
He
now we
was.
all see he had some solid jiu-jitsu, but that's about it.
Yeah, and when you're getting caught with things like that and you're losing, he was losing quite a. He was fighting. I don't even remember the guy's name because he got kicked out of 2 fights. With the guy with the head kick, the Rashad Evans.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
and he-
highlight reel for it's all the Ultimate Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what
I
you're
mean, he
talking
beat
about.
him, but these were the guys he was fighting against.
Yeah.
Now he's in the big leagues. And after a few of his fights were, and I forget the other opponent he fought, but because it was a while back, but he outstruck him. He's been in Thailand multiple times working on his striking. My biggest thing is, will he get the takedown? And Okami just be able to control him all 3 rounds? I gotta go no, because if Tim Bosch was able to defend a little bit on the takedowns, because Okami didn't get the one takedown until the late in the 2nd round.
But Bosch, I also see he's a big guy. Bosch, I would put him up right up there with Okami and Belcher.
I think he's a little more pudgy than big.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not at light heavyweight. He was big at light heavyweight, but now he's slimming down.
Yeah, you can definitely make that argument. And which again goes back to, man, it's just every argument has a counter. In the end I gotta go with Belcher because it starts on the feet. He's definitely gonna have the advantage there. And I think his ground skills are just good enough where he will not get absolutely annihilated. He might get taken down. He might be able to do something, or at least pull something where it's like, oh wait, he's not getting dominated. He's not really accumulating enough points to win that round.
The way I see it is Okami is going to do dirty boxing and clinch. I mean, he's fighting. He trains with Dan Henderson, Chael Sonnen, Randy Couture sometimes.
Team Quest, the best dirty boxers.
Exactly. I mean, he's going to get him up against the cage, pound him out. I'm saying it's a decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks him out.
Okay.
Just maybe a TKO, but that's just me. Because I think his strength will overwhelm Belcher. His dirty boxing is going to be great. He's going to be able to close the distance. He's a big guy. He probably has a reach advantage. I'm not sure on that.
That was, he might.
Belcher's pretty tall.
Actually, no, he's not because I think they said that actually Tim Bosch had a reach advantage over Okami. I don't think his arms are proportional to his height,
Yeah.
which is actually something really surprising.
And, I mean, I'm going with Okami on this just because Okami's bigger. He's got the black belt in judo. Sure, he's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back, black belt. Belcher is, but I don't think his takedowns are going to get him on the ground.
I think they've watched a lot of tape on each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight.
And I think the reason I go with it is just because I think Okami has to do more to win the fight, and all Belcher has to do with watching all his fights is avoid that. He's got to avoid the takedown, avoid the clinch, and I think his footwork is enough where he might be able to do that.
Yeah, he's going to stay on the outside and pick him apart.
Watch me eat my words. Watch him like 10 seconds in, takedown, boom, 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 ground and pound, Okami win, and then I'll be like, Belcher.
Brian Stannis, hammer fist, bam, right in the guard.
That'll happen now. Just because I said all that, it's going to happen. But what was that? Before we get into the prelims, next fight
Tim Bosch
was
versus Philippe.
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's another man. We're just
Disagreeing
on this
yeah.
one too. But again, it's going to be close. Whenever like, man, you're stupid. Why the heck would you even think Bosch has a chance, or vice versa? It's not like, oh, Philippe's never going to knock him out. He has no boxing. But and that's pretty much what the biggest reason I got him because of the boxing, and he has outstanding takedown defense.
He is pretty good taking out defense, but if you see him on his back, he's not going to be able to do anything against Bosch. But then again, I'm saying he's going to have the same style as Okami. He's going to shove him up against his fence, use his weight, and try to muscle him around.
And what was the last time we saw him on his back? Wasn't it against when he lost the decision against Nick Catone?
Yeah.
And then
I think that'd be
slightly against Jorge Rivera in
Yeah,
UFC 127.
Jorge Rivera, he's a journeyman. He's been around for a long time.
Exactly.
He fought 2 Ortiz, I'm pretty sure, and maybe up in 10.
You know, you might be right about that.
Yeah.
Was it pre-UFC?
No, it was still in the UFC. I know he's had some.
Because I know he fought Rich Franklin.
Yeah, that was.
He actually made that fight.
Yeah.
But then again, that was Franklin's first cut to middleweight.
Yeah.
And they said he looked drained.
Yeah, so, I mean, it really.
The first submission one I've ever seen from Rich Franklin,
Yeah.
that armbar in the 3rd round.
But then again, Jorge Rivera is pretty easy.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah,
he's a Thai boxer.
pretty much. He's a stand-up fighter all day long.
He's fighting out of Maryland. Well, he's retired now, but he was out of Maryland, out of the city of or whatever that is, with Freek, the coach's name, but pretty big camp.
Yeah. But what impressed me with Philippou is he actually, surprisingly, because he is a boxer, he's not really known as a ground fighter, he pulled off an omoplata, probably because he's been training with Matt Serra.
Ray Long and Matt Serra, that's a great camp.
Yeah. I mean, and you think just because he's with Matt Longo, he's boxing all day, and you're like, oh, that's right. You know, Matt Serra's been teaching him his omoplatas.
Yeah, I mean,
So he still got them in his arsenal.
Fun fact about Matt Serra, first American against black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I mean, he's a tough guy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that was
His brother was the second.
Yeah.
What the heck is his first name?
I don't know. I think he had a couple of fights too.
He did. His last fight was it Strikeforce? I know it was one that was decent. It was like Strikeforce and it was he lost because he refused to get up. He got disqualified. But he was one of the few people to pull off a flying triangle.
That's impressive right there.
Right, and have it actually on your record.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a jiu-jitsu background. You don't see that a lot.
No.
All the flying submissions. I mean, one of my teammates, he pulled off a flying armbar in the Pan Am, because that was pretty impressive.
That's true.
You don't see that too often.
But, I think Philippou just has good enough takedown. I mean, we saw him against, Ricky Kakuta. I think Ricky Kakuta has the same kind of background, because one, he's also Japanese.
Yeah, he comes from a Shudo background. He's got that Shudo wrestling.
I think he's just a couple steps down from on Okami.
Yeah,
he's a little smaller.
Kakuta and Okami, you can't compare the two. Okami just fought for the title last year.
Oh no, definitely not on the same skill levels,
Yeah.
but I think it's the same style. Just like if for instance, if I think he's like Okami early in his Pride days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So I think it's the same style, but just not at the same talent level.
Except you also got to watch out for Okami's throws.
That's true. Not to mention, I think Okami has way better boxing.
Anyways.
But it wasn't Philippou who fought him; it was Bosch.
Yeah.
And after watching the comparison of each and all their fights, I think it'll be Bosch who has a harder time getting Philippou down, because I don't think his wrestling is nearly as good as Okami's.
I don't think so. Too.
So now you're gonna have a harder time getting him down, and you're not gonna be. I mean, yeah, he's got his nice front kicks.
Yeah, but
he likes those Jeet Kune Do style.
Yeah. But I mean, you could never count out the power of Bosch.
Oh, never.
That's
never.
why. I mean, we saw it in the Okami fight, right?
Exactly.
He knocked him out 3rd round after getting dominated. But then
Pretty
again,
much.
you watch Junior Dos Santos versus Shane Carwin, and Junior Dos Santos picked him apart.
Yeah.
But, well, personally, I thought Shane Carwin could out wrestle him. And 3rd round, he's gonna take him down. But yeah, that's a different fight.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain fights where I'll bank on the knockout all day long, but if I see an actual game plan that's, hey, he's a smart fighter, he's going to stick to it, I won't bet on the knockout unless if it's like you said, Chris Liebman.
Yeah.
We got knocked out all day long, but I don't think Tim Bosch is the kind of guy where I'm like, he can still catch him. I'll go with that. I think it seems a little less likely, and Philippou has the better boxing all day long.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the Hector Lombard fight. It was a pretty boring fight. But then again, they both said they were injured. So
Yeah.
you also got to keep that in your mind coming into this fight.
This is probably the same reason we disagree on the Belcher Okami fight, because again, I'm going with the fact that I think his takedown defense is going to be just good enough where he's not going to get the takedown. He's like, I think 3 rounds is enough. He's probably going to get it, and that's pretty much right down the middle where we differ.
Yeah.
And again, if the other guy wins, it's going to be okay. Yeah, Bosch got the takedown.
Exactly.
Sucked down the ground.
We all know either way who wins. We know how he's going to win and why he's going to win.
Pretty much. Watch us both be wrong and he pulls a 360
Or
in the air, flying kick to the
you get like
face.
DQ'd or something, or a bad
It'll
red
be-
decision like we saw from Sakara and Kote.
Yeah,
Another big story. Kote is making its move down to welterweight.
that's the one we missed the
Yeah.
news on.
Yeah, I like that.
If he has a good weight cut, that'd be good.
Yeah, because Kote's always been pudgy, and I mean he fought
Yeah.
Anderson Silva until that leg injury. and I see Kotang coming out. He has a probably top 10 guy, top 15 guy.
He could be. I think he could be if he has a good weight cut. You know, we've seen Damian Maya was great for him.
Yeah,
We've seen guys like what's now the name's slipping my mind. But guys like with his body type.
Yeah, but I
suck.
mean, you look at GSP, he's so afraid to go up weight because he says he's an ectomorph. I mean, that's why he doesn't want to fight Anderson Silva. If he goes up to middleweight, he has to stay there. He says.
Yeah.
So I mean, that can really mess with your career. So
That's true.
We'll see what happens.
So that's co-main events up.
Yeah, Jim Miller versus Joe Lozon.
And I think we are actually agreeing on this one.
Yeah, we both say Jim Miller. I think by submission, but
You know what? I was going to go by submission. It's just that Joe Lozon, man, he's one of those jiu-jitsu guys who is actually almost more comfortable on his back.
yeah, but I mean, Jim Miller is comfortable everywhere. Plus, he comes from New Jersey, I think.
He does.
Great wrestling state.
Yeah.
If you're from New
That'll be the
Jersey-
difference in my mind.
Yeah, good wrestling.
Because Varner pretty much took Joe Lozon down, got the points, but
Exactly.
Jim Miller is way better defending stuff from the guard.
Well, Jim Miller's a great black belt. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw him get submitted by Nate Diaz before he got a black belt.
But he got rocked with a few punches
Yeah,
before
exactly.
that. And I think that was one he was going for a takedown, and he countered really well. He just was
Gotta
able
make
to
it
stuff
right
it.
there.
Yeah, so and he just fell back immediately.
Exactly. So, I'm saying submission. I wouldn't be surprised by the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with a decision just because I think Joe Lozon, his jiu-jitsu is just good enough where he's going to get, top control is going to be all over him. He's not going to be able to pull anything in the guard. It's just going to be points from Miller. And Joe Lozon, his gas tank is not always questionable.
Yeah,
His
sure.
striking,
Yeah,
and
neither of these guys. But then again, you get the old story: two grapplers, you get a striking match. So.
that's pretty true. So, and if it does go, I still got to give the advantage on the feet to Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take that.
That's the one fight I would bet on Jim Miller all day.
Yeah. So, the question, just really, we'll do that for the end because we're trying to think if we could bet on one fight, like that would actually be smart for your dollar. Which was the one fight you'd actually put money on? Because we're automatically thinking Todd Duffy.
Yeah, Todd Duffy.
But I mean, what are the odds? Got to be like crazy money to put down. So
yeah, I think it was like 6-1 favorite. Or something.
it's probably not worth your money's worth. For that one, who knows? Knockout might happen. Now you're out for $600. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But main event, we got man. This is probably the second toughest fight for me to pick. But I think we agree on this one as well.
Yeah. I hate to say it, I love Junior Dos Santos. He's such a nice guy, but it also comes down to his jiu-jitsu game because there's no doubt Kane is going to take him down at least once. There's 5 rounds, and I'm positive he's going to end up on his back.
He almost took him down in the first round, or their first fight.
But there was something up in that first fight. They both had knee injuries, so this is going to be a completely different game plan for both of them.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Junior knocks him out, but I'm saying Kane takes it either by ground and pound in like 3rd or 4th round or decision.
All right.
But then again, he has a Nogueira brown belt. We saw what Kane did to Nogueira himself.
Exactly. So, and you bring up some good points because I actually rewatched a few of their fights.
Yeah.
And if, because they fought a long time ago. I mean, people think it was like 6 months ago. It was wild.
It's been like, that was the first fight card on Fox.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I rewatched that fight, and I actually forgot how well Kane was doing. He was actually outlanding him. He was finishing all his combinations with leg kicks, which will slow him down.
It's hard to say. It was 2 minutes in. It was less than 2 minutes in.
Which is true, and he still said that he came out slow.
Yeah.
He was disappointed. So
Exactly.
and I watched it really closely, and I'm like, well, he was actually doing everything right.
Yeah.
He wasn't, and I think it took JDS 3 times. He landed that overhand right 3 times.
Yeah.
And he took it he caught him. It took him the 3rd time to actually catch him, where he stumbled him to actually get it.
Yeah.
And he was disappointed with his head movement. I don't think that he's going to, even if he lands, people think, oh, he's got to do is touch him once. No, he took a couple of punches.
Kane's got a check.
So I don't think he's going to land that one punch out of the many that will clip him, temple, chin, that'll put him out. I don't see it happening. His cardio is not as good as Velasquez.
Cardio Kane all day. That's why that's going to be the big thing. I see him coming out right away, doing what Brock Lesnar did to him, trying to shove him up on the fence, take him down right away.
I got to agree.
Yeah, so I'm saying
Frank Mir actually almost took JDS down.
Yeah,
and
but
he sucked in that fight. I mean, he really didn't do that well. I was very disappointed.
I like Frank Mir, but there was no way he was going to win that fight.
I big respect to Frank Mir all day. He's like a future Hall of Famer. Hopefully.
Exactly. Hopefully. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll see him become the first 3-time heavyweight champion. But I don't see that. They're rumoring that Daniel Cormier fights him come back. And yeah, should be interesting.
I think so too. So it looks like we both got Velasquez. Real quick at the prelims, we won't go too much into depth. There's a few that we want to touch base on. Brad Pickett, Eddie Weiland.
Brad Pickett all day.
I gotta go with the same. I gotta go with the same. Actually, that's one where I think he can do anything. He can submit you. He can knock you out. Or he can just grind you with his wrestling all 3 rounds like he did to DeMarcus Johnson when they were in the same weight class.
Yeah.
But that's pretty easy. I mean, we both got Pickett all day.
Was it Michael Johnson versus?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna take a quick peek at him just so we get them get the right ones. We got Eric Perez and Byron Bloodworth.
Yeah.
I think we both got Perez on that one.
Yeah, Perez all day.
I mean, that was what 2 times he was in that armbar, got out,
Yeah,
and
Perez
he knocked out
pretty
what's his face in like a minute.
Yeah, I see his submission defense being great. He's got great hands. I see one hand.
Yeah, that's too. I think we both got Perez as well. We already touched on Melvin Gillard, Jamie Varner, and yeah, we go back to the fight you were saying. Michael Johnson, Miles Jury.
Yeah, I'd say Johnson on this one.
I did too, but are you surprised Jerry's even getting this opportunity?
Yeah, I didn't like Jerry. I mean, he came from the open fighter.
Pretty much.
He lost to Kinsa.
Lost to Ikin
But, I mean,
in a split decision that shouldn't have been a split decision.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty easy.
yeah, I agree.
And then he beat Chris Saunders. Why are you getting Michael Johnson, who
Exactly.
he's beaten some of the
Michael
veterans?
Yeah, he's a former tough player too, isn't he? He was on the Brock Lesnar team. I'm pretty sure he won.
He was runner-up. He lost to Jonathan Brookins,
Oh yeah, Brookins. We just saw him get knocked out.
pretty much.
Funny story. He's going on a spiritual quest to India now.
I heard.
He's not sure if he wants to be a fighter
I
anymore.
don't even know what that means anymore.
Yeah.
Going on a spiritual quest to India.
You never know. I mean, he could come back better fighter. Maybe lose weight, go down to what is it? He was 145 now. Maybe go down to
Bantamweight or something.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
No. We'll see what happens. See what the Indian diet does.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back
Lots
to
of curry.
flyweight or.
Yeah, good. A lot of them coming out there.
Right,
Yes.
who knows what he does? And then the last one, not the last one. Oh, we both got Todd Duffy beating Phil
but
Fries. That's
Still the Fries. I mean, he was scared to fight Matt Mitrione. We saw him fight.
I didn't have
Big
him winning either
Country.
way.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, he's got a hey, oh wow, he fell. There was a scramble. He got a submission. We've
Yeah.
seen it happen, but I'm not banking on
Yeah,
that.
no, Todd Duffy all day. He's going to overpower him. Todd Duffy's fought some tough competition. He should have been cut so early. I mean, he fought Alistair over him. He got knocked out.
Yeah.
A minute in, but that's over it.
And he made it a competitive fight. It was
Yeah,
back
I
and
mean,
forth.
he went out there. He was not afraid to
Two
go
big
for it.
guys. You knew it was going to end
Yeah,
fast.
exactly. So.
And he got cut off of some crap. He wanted a part-time job, and they
Yeah,
refused.
yeah.
They said no, and he's like, "Well, you're not really putting me on. I have the record of the 7-second winning.
Yeah.
You're not really putting me on anything, and you're paying me." He's like, I'm not saying negotiate my contract. I'm saying let me go get 2 days a week at McDonald's. And
Yeah,
they're like, no.
exactly. You gotta feed your
Like,
family
screw you,
somehow.
you're gonna cut.
And, I mean,
I think that's
He's had a
disrespectful.
tough time. He was so close to going on with his mom. Just stopped fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, he could not get a fight. His manager, he was in a couple different promotions. They kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and 8 months ago, he's coming off a really good knockout over the Goliath or what.
Yeah.
His
Big
full
guy.
name's Scoopy, but he's a big dude. He's like
Yeah.
6'6".
Yeah, I mean,
Good fight.
Yeah, I see Todd Duffy coming in, knocking him out, and then getting a step up in competition.
And then the last one we definitely agree on is after John Moraga's knockout of Ulysses Gomez, I'm pretty sure he's going to beat more of a ground fighter like Chris Casario or Chris, whatever, however you pronounce that guy's last name.
Yeah, I don't see him getting into the ground. He's going to knock him out.
Pretty much. John Moraga, probably first, second round knockout easy, pick him off the feet.
Yeah.
But, man, so we disagree on only 3. Again, we both, he knows what he's talking about. I've tried to bring other people on the show. They are like, I'll do the main event, I'll do the main card. They're not really as knowledgeable, so it's good to have someone on. This is a permanent change. Any news? I mean,
Well, hopefully next show we'll have an interview with a former Bellator tournament fighter, Raul Maya. I'm going to get in contact with him. He lives nearby, trains down at Champions MMA. He just came off of it was a TKO because he went out, dominated the first round. It was in the Bellator at the Sundown.
okay.
And he came out wrestled the guy. This guy's got a great wrestling background. Wrestled the Southeast. I'm pretty sure he might have been a state champ, if not a state qualifier.
Awesome.
And he's got some good hands. He's suplex guys. I mean, he's a good wrestler. And he came out, took him down, beat him up. Second round, took him down again. Kind of shoulder injury, kind of like we saw in what was it? Stun Gun versus Damian Maia.
Damian Maia.
So that's pretty much what happened. Came off his first Bellator win. He's 1-1 at Bellator, so we'll ask what's next for him. So
Awesome.
should be interesting.
Well, if we have to bet on one fight, obviously it's Todd Duffy. But for your money's worth, like we said, Jim Miller's good one. I think I would have to go with Johnson over Jury.
Yeah, that's good.
But again, we're going to check the betting odds. But speaking of betting odds, if you're going to go bet on MMA, you can go to MMAfix.com. This is going to be on the website. It's going to be on MMAfix.com right here. Go ahead and go to it. Also, you can check out the YouTube under Wagerosity right here, or you can even go to Fight Freak 88, my YouTube channel. It's going to be on all of them. It's even going to be on MMA Linker probably.
Yeah,
we're going to throw it on MMA Linker and all that stuff. But if you want to bet on MMA, go to MMAfix.com. You can sign up on BetDSI, 5 Dimes. We have all that stuff. We're actually going to have samples of the gear.
Yeah, exactly. Next show we'll have hats, shirts.
Yeah, we were supposed to have them today, but we wanted to get this nice and early, have a whole week to be on it. It'll be nice and edited on that. We might even have them tomorrow or whatnot. So we'll have samples of all that stuff. And again, you can go to MMAfix.com. Check out all the samples of hats, shirts, all that good gear. We'll be promoting all that stuff as well. Is there any last words? Anything else?
Follow us on Twitter. I mean, we put out articles almost every day, so I mean,
pretty much.
Check out the website and
like, subscribe,
exactly.
Follow all that good junk. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, Fight Freak at Fight Freak. We have our at MMA Fix. What's yours like? Canadian MMA.
Like Canada MMA.
We're all going to be following each other. This is all one thing. So
we'll put it down.
You support one of these here, you support us all.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much it. We're gonna do another video rather soon. We're gonna put out some funny videos.
You
guys put out
guys
some humor stuff.
have a great Christmas.
Pretty much. Happy holidays. We're all that good stuff. Politically, all that good stuff.
Checks on the website. Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm Ryan Fight Freak Poli.
I'm Josh Leduc, guys.
We'll see you next time.